Hello again. This is the second video of this. It's been a week. Means new comics. Actually, like last week, these are about a week old. Um, I actually just got this week's comics today, so I figured, oh crap, I need to do another one of these. So first off, I got seven this week, which I kind of wanted to keep it at five, but I only read seven this week, so I figured I'd talk about all of them. First off is Huntress and Power Girl World's Finest #2. I'm done with this book. Quite frankly, it's not really that good. And I was really hoping it would be good because I like Paul Lovitz. I mean, I even added him on Facebook, and he directly messaged me himself, and he talked to me, which I was like, not many people would do that. He was really cool, and I loved his Huntress storyline. Like the first four issues, five was okay, six is, eh. And then it went into this, and I mean, I've seen the previews for issue five, the solicitations for the cover, and it looks like it's gonna be the Anti-Monitor. We're building up to this guy right here becoming the Anti-Monitor, and I was kind of excited, but the book just wasn't that good. Another one, which is pretty close to the bottom, is Batman Detective Comics. I'm a big Batman fan. Right now, Batman and the Resurrection Man are my two favorite DC things going. But not this book. I mean, Detective Comics used to have before the relaunch had Snyder on it, Scott Snyder, and the artist named Jacques and Francisco Francavilla. I knew I was going to botch that. Well, that was an actual detective story. This so far has not. Since the relaunch, there's not been an actual detective story in Detective Comics, and it bugs the crap out of me. The guy writing this and doing the art, he did the cover art, Tony Daniel. He was on the Batman book for the relaunch, just Batman, and that's fine. It wasn't a detective story, and Detective Comics, should be a detective story. If you want to have a beat 'em up with Batman, fine, put that in Batman. Detective, leave to the stuff that I have to use my brain for. This I didn't. The only reason I like this at all is at the very beginning he faces a bunch of thugs dressed up as Batman, and they have this big fight in the middle of Gotham, which I thought was kind of cool. Next up, Avengers versus X-Men #5. I love the cover. The guy who did this cover, I want to say his name is Chang. I'm not for sure. Jimmy Chang. I could totally James. I don't know. But anyways, he did the art for a cover for a series called Avengers: The Children Crusade that brought back the Scarlet Witch. Well, I enjoyed his art, and I enjoyed this. It's kind of a awkward piece, but I really do like it. His art has been amazing, everything I've seen so far, and it not much to say about it except it's just a fight up on the moon between the Avengers and the X-Men, and then all of a sudden the Phoenix Force arrives, and it looks like it's going to take Hope as their host, but no, it takes five different X-Men, including Cyclops and Mephirost, Magic, Namor, and the Juggernaut. Not the Juggernaut. Well, close to the Juggernaut. Colossus, who is now the Juggernaut. And that was how it ended. It was like, oh, wow, cool. This Earth 2, which came out the same time as part of the Phase 2 of the New 52 with World's Finest. They both are about World Earth 2 characters. Some of them were Golden Age characters, so that's why I'm getting into it. And this was actually really good. As you can tell, that's a different version of the Flash. So that's the Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick. Well, it's his new origin where he got his powers from the god Mercury. And I really like it. I'm really enjoying this. It talked about his background, and it also talked. This is the issue where you find out that the Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan, Alan Scott, is gay. And all of a sudden, boom! Right as he proposes, big explosion, and leaves like, oh my God, him and his partner are dead. Well, the next issue is when you see Alan Scott get his powers. So I'm looking forward to that. The next up is Smallville Season 11, issue #2. This I'm actually really enjoying. This issue, if you know your Superman history at all, brings in Hank Henshaw, introduces us to him for the first time. Hank Henshaw is Cyborg Superman. He's one of the people who replaced him when Superman died during the reign of the Superman arc, right after the death of Superman. I really have been enjoying this. The first issue was told a little bit from Clark, but mainly from Lex's point of view. Because if you remember the end of the last season, season 10, the last episode, Lex actually, his clone brought him back, which is very, very in tune with the comic. And, he killed his sister, and all this stuff happened. Well, his sister's now haunting him and everything. We don't really know if it's a ghost or if it's really her or what's going on. It's really interesting. And then on top of it, I don't know, just the way it ended with Hank and with the Henshaw and going up into space, it was really good. I enjoyed it. So I'm really for that. And they just announced that in, I think, issue 5, Batman, which the producers for the TV show wanted to bring in forever, they're finally getting to do it since it's a comic. Um, my second number 2 spot for pick of the week is actually Superman again with Action Comics. This actually was really good. Started a new storyline, which so far this book hadn't been impressing me. Now it did something that I didn't expect to, and it impressed me. I'm getting this and Superman both, so because this takes place like early on in Superman's career. This book does, and the current one, Superman, takes place in the current time in his career. And I haven't been impressed with either one so far, but this one finally impressed me. The only reason I read him is because I like Superman. I was raised to like Superman. It was just my dad read it when he was a kid, so I read it, or learned to like it. But this Clark Kent, well, I'm gonna spoil it anyway because I just really enjoy it. Clark Kent dies, and he's supposed to get a new, get a new identity. He gets killed in a suicide bomber, and I really enjoyed it. And there's this guy who's like the DC version of Kraven the Hunter hunting Superman because he thinks it's going to be the ultimate kill, and he doesn't do it, and Superman finds him, but he's like, wait, Clark Kent died. And there's a great little backup story. It's the second backup story I've ever liked. The first one being in a Ghostbusters comic about Ivo Shandor. The second being, it's a memorial of people telling the stories why they loved Clark, and a little memorial for him after he died. I was really impressed with that too. That was really good. My pick of the week, and I hate it, but I love it at the same time. This book has been nonstop good ever since it came out, I think. And it's written by my favorite writer. The cover for this one was actually by my favorite artist. It's Winter Soldier number, let me double check, 6. I was getting ready to say 7. I'm glad I checked. It's written by Ed Brubaker. The cover is by Steve Epting. He's my favorite artist. Basically, the last storyline was that there was, for those of you who don't know, Bucky used to, the Winter Soldier is Bucky, who used to be Cap's old partner during World War II, who came back when Cap was frozen in ice, the exact same accident that flung him into the ice. Bucky was there. For the longest time, Cannon said that Bucky was dead. Well, it turns out the Russians fished him out of the water, brainwashed him, and made him into their own assassin, the Winter Soldier. They made him train all their soldiers and everything, and he wound up training these 4 sleeper agents they put in American little tubes that would wait until they were woken up to attack America. Well, people found them, sold them on the black market. They only sold 3. One of them escaped. Well, this one is the story about the other one. They started the arc of the other one, and he's trying to kill Bucky. And the thing that kills me in this is Ed Brubaker does research. I love that he does research for his characters. And he knows the name of all the past Captain Americas. When Cap was frozen in ice, they wanted to keep going with Captain America as a symbol of the country. And same with Bucky. And so they kept bringing out more and more, and he's done stories with all these past Captain Americas and Buckys. Well, it's gotten to the point where there's only one left, and his name was Fred Davis. And in this issue, which I saw it coming the page right before, they kill Fred Davis. And the thing that kills me is the way he does it is he'll have other stories, and even in other books, where that character is there, and he plays a key role. And then he'll kill him off in something else. And that's what he did here. And I just love it, but I hate it. Because I love the fact of those old-time characters. Alright. My book that, my little flashback favorite right now is actually Winter Soldier. When they reintroduced Bucky and they brought him back, the Winter Soldier storyline from Captain America way back in 2002, 2005. I can't honestly remember. It was issue 1 through 14. This is the second half, because sadly it's all I have in trade. I just wanted to bring that up. It's great. Bucky comes back as an assassin bent on killing Steve. He doesn't really know why. He just hates him, and he's being told to by handlers. And then he starts to get flashbacks of being Bucky and remembering he can't kill Steve, and then they get the Cosmic Cube from the Red Skull, who's always after it. And Steve makes the last issue. Steve makes Bucky remember everything because he wants his old partner back. But he does it to a point where he comes back as his personality, but he remembers doing some of the stuff as Winter Soldier, and he feels so bad. So I suggest reading this. It's a great story.